I've kept this such a secret. Oh, come on, girl, like, just get over it. I've been really torn about how to share Archie online. How did you and Connor meet? I don't know, love the idea. Never say never. Guys, we want to move. Actually, it's a bit of a lie what I've just said. Okay, what is your job? Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It is time for the 20k subscriber Q&A. Thank you again to you guys for actually subscribing to my channel, watching my videos, liking, commenting. I really do appreciate it. And I don't think you realise how much it helps a little small channel like mine. So thank you so much. So I feel like the least I could do is maybe do a little Q&A to say thank you. Also, side note, when I said that I was going to do a Q&A, I kept thinking like, what if I only get like 3 or 4 questions? And actually this isn't as wanted as I thought it was. And then I'd have like the shortest Q&A in the world. So thank you for actually sending in so many questions, because I don't actually think I'm going to be able to get through them all, which is a very nice position to be in. So thank you so much. To be honest, a lot of the questions are on a similar kind of subject. In fact, I actually said to Connor, I should have written down what the predicted subjects, like what I thought people were going to ask about, because you guys did not disappoint. I thought you guys were going to ask about, number 1, my job, because I know I've never really spoken about this on here. 2, Archie, because we're all obsessed with Archie over here. And number 3, I thought you'd ask about Connor, and you did. So those 3 topics, no word of a lie, the same sort of questions, just worded slightly differently, have come up time and time again. So I know this is a little bit overdue, but thank you again for sending them all in. So what I'm going to do is I've just transferred all the questions into my notes so I can just like read them quickly off my phone. I've kind of put them into categories-ish. So I've done kind of, we'll start with some like ad hoc questions, not ad hoc, random, is that the word? Just like random questions about anything. Then we're going to move into like content creation, then move into Connor, and then move into Archie, I think. And as I say, I've had lots of like very similar questions come in, so if I haven't read yours out like word for word, I've kind of looped it into something else, if that makes sense, and we'll try and get through as many as possible. Now when I watch these Q&As, I'm always like, please just get through as many questions as possible in the time and please don't ramble. So I'm going to try and take my own advice, and I'm going to try and keep these answers really precise, just so we can get through as many questions as possible, because if I answered every single question, I think we'd be here for about 2 hours, which guys, I'm so pleased about, but yeah, we haven't got time for that today. Okay, number 1. How did you get over your gym anxiety and going to the gym on your own? Now this is such a real thing, like why do we not all speak about this so much more? Because honestly, the gym is a really intimidating, scary place when you go for the first time. So the way that I did it, we're going back years and years. I started by just going to the gym, not doing the classes that I now do. I built myself up to that. I know it sounds ridiculous, but as a girlie that suffers with anxiety and is like actually diagnosed on that side of things, then I get you, I totally get you. So the way that I did it was when I first started going to the gym, I would just go and pick a really simple machine, like a rower, a treadmill, a stepper, something like that, where I could plant myself in the corner, do my workout. I knew how to start the machine, I knew how to do the exercise, and I would kind of just observe what was going on in the gym. I wouldn't go in and go, right, I'm going straight into the really intimidating weights room, because that is honestly so intimidating. The weights room, until you really know what you're doing, it's a very daunting place. So I really did kind of build myself up. And then the next time I'd maybe do the rower and the treadmill. And then I would kind of get over the fact of like going from one machine to another. And I know if you don't have anxiety, this might seem like, oh, come on girl, like just get over it. But if you suffer with anxiety, I get you. It's a really intimidating place. I would honestly say it took me, I would say nearly a year to build up to using all the machines I wanted to in the gym confidently and without stressing about it. So once I was done with all the cardio machines, I then just started going onto like the mats and using free weights. So I was like, okay, I'm using weights, but I'm not still in the intimidating weights room, but I'm kind of on the edge. I'm observing what's going on in there, and then I moved into the weights room, and that's obviously where I am happiest. That's the kind of workout that I really do like to do. But yeah, it took time. We need to normalise the fact that the gym is a very intimidating place. As well as that, obviously I do my classes, which when you attend a class for the first time, it's just not a nice experience because you don't know what's going on. People have all got their cliques, they've got their friendship groups, and you just feel like a bit of an outcast. But I promise you, once you've done it once, it really will be okay. If you have a friend or something you can drag along with you just for the first class, then do that. If not, I actually just arrived 15 minutes earlier just so I could hover and really assess the situation. And then because I was early, there weren't many people in the room, I literally went up to the instructor, I was like, hi, I'm new, what do I need to do? But because I was early, there was no one really there to judge and it was fine. But no, I get it, gym anxiety is a real thing. Do you have any videos of your outside office? A few. I've got a few on my shorts, so if I can find them, I'll leave them, well, I will find them, I'll find them for you, I'll leave them linked down below in the description box. It's not somewhere I filmed all that often because the outside office is Connor's office, and naturally when I'm filming he's working, so it doesn't really work for me to be filming down there. But yes, we do have a few videos of our outside office, so I'll leave those linked down below if you want to have a look at those. What is my education? Which I thought was a really interesting one. So I didn't go to university or anything like that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I left school, and to go into the career path that I wanted to, I didn't need a degree. So it felt like a no-brainer for me. So I was privately educated at primary level, and then when I went to secondary school, I went into the state system, and I feel like that was personally for me a really, really good mix. I then went on to sixth form at my school. We didn't have to go on to college or anything like that. You can do the sixth form at the secondary school that I was at. And yeah, at 18 I left school and went into my first career, which was what I did for 10 years, 9 years, which was an estate agent. I've worked in the property industry. That is the bulk of my career. And to be honest, kind of my identity. I felt like when I left that, which is a whole different tangent, we'll get onto that in a minute, I felt like when I left that career, I lost my entire identity. But yeah, that's what I did. So I didn't need to go to university to go into the property industry. Right, what job, oh, this links in quite well actually. What job would you do if you could? And I would definitely go back into the property industry properly. I would love, love, love to be a property developer. My family have always been in property. My granddad owned an estate agent, my dad owned a chain of estate agents. My dad has since gone into like property development and things like that. He's now retired, but my family have always dabbled in the property industry, and hence I naturally fell into it at 18. But actually going into property development and things like that is definitely something that I would love to do with Connor. It's something that would definitely be like, if someone could say to us, right, both give up your jobs today and here is a big pot of money, start a business you want to do, it'd be property development for us. I feel like it's an area where we have a huge amount of support and available networks already. We know a lot of people through the family in the right places for the industry. So it feels like the obvious choice for us. And also, how much fun would it be to be able to take you guys along on that sort of journey? So I wouldn't give up my YouTube for that, because obviously content would be great if we did property development. Are you going to do Vlogmas? Thank you for asking this. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. If I was a full-time content creator, yes, I would, because I could dedicate my days to doing Vlogmas. My issue is that this is a little hobby for me, which has turned into a bit like a side hustle, and I do still have my actual job to do. And I'm just a bit worried about committing to 24 days of Vlogmas and then something happening on like day 13, because I know I would beat myself up about it or something like that. I don't know, I will definitely do a lot of like more uploads, I would say, in December. I just don't know whether I would commit to Vlogmas. I know on Instagram last year I saw a few people doing like the 12 days of cleanness, and I quite liked that. I don't know. I don't know yet, to be honest. I don't know how things are going to plan out with my actual job and what my commitments are going to be in December, because I do actually shut down one of my little businesses for December, so naturally I've got a bit more time. But I don't know, love the idea, never say never, but I'm not sitting here going, yeah, I'm doing Vlogmas 2025, because I don't think I can commit to that just yet. Do you have any plans to move, or is this your forever home? Guys, we want to move. We really do want to move. That's not a secret amongst our friends and family. In fact, we were planning on moving last year, and then long story short, we ended up buying an investment property which we rent out, which was basically our funds to move. That was the best financial decision for us at the time, but it does now mean that we don't have the capital available to move, which is rather irritating. So yeah, this is definitely not our forever home. In fact, we've been here 7 years and we only planned on being here 2 years. But in a nutshell, we bought this place. It was like our starter home. We'd be here for a couple of years. Then COVID hit, so that was like let's just stay put for a bit. Then I quit my job. I started the business, so let's stay put for a bit. Then we bought the investment property, so now let's stay put for a bit. And there's always been something that has stopped us. So no, this is definitely not our forever home. And yes, we definitely do want to move, but I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're going to be moving in 6 months' time, because we just won't be. But I can't wait to tell you guys when we are. Linking into that, actually, I saw a question about, oh, there it is. What's your ideal next home? So for us, our next home, we desperately want a garage. I know this sounds ridiculous, but we don't have a garage or a utility in this house. And especially doing what I do, a utility would just be, oh my God, just be the dream. So a garage and a utility would be an absolute must. Ideally 4 bedrooms. We would like something that's a bit of a project. No, a hell of a project. We really would like to rip something to pieces. Everything I just mentioned about mine and my family's background in the property industry would probably make a lot of sense when it comes to that, but we wouldn't plan on buying another new build. Our plan would be to buy something that we really could rip apart and make a really lovely family home for us. But yeah, the end goal would be a nice 4-bedroom house with a utility and a garage and a nice garden for King Archie and all of the rest. But a girl can dream because we ain't got the funds for that right now. Do you have any holiday plans this year? No, because Connor and I decided, was it about February, March time, that we wanted to get a dog, and we knew we wanted to go down the rescue/adoption route. And when I started to check with a lot of rescue centres about the criterias and things like that, came as no surprise that they would want you obviously to have no holidays booked for the first 3 to 6 months of owning the dog, which makes complete sense. And actually I'm really pleased that they check things like that. So obviously some of you will know we went to Poland at the end of May, and then we got Archie mid-June. So Poland was like our final holiday of the year. Obviously we went to Mauritius January, February of this year, which was like our big holiday, if that makes sense. So we haven't been done out, but no, we were very happy to make the sacrifice of our summer holiday this year in order to secure our dream dog. So no, absolutely no holidays planned. A couple of bits in the UK, but nothing exciting, nothing worth talking about really. Where do you buy your activewear from? I love my activewear, especially, well, not this time of year, because guys, it's so hot. Like I'm literally just sat here like sweltering. I get my hair off my neck, like it's so warm, and I'm not complaining. I love the heat, but Jesus. So no activewear for me at the moment. 2 main places I like to get my activewear from. My Protein, I find it such good value for the quality. Like the quality of their pieces are really good, and they're not like major expensive. They're really good, like mid-range point, My Protein. Also got a lot of pieces from Gymshark. When they've got a good Gymshark sale, I really do clean up in there because yeah, I love a bit of Gymshark. And I suppose you could call it an activewear brand, but a brand that I wear like not to the gym. So like, you know, when you want to have like an activewear outfit but I'm absolutely not going to the gym, would be my Adnolas. I love Adnola. Like I just love their matching sets. I feel like you can feel really put together without actually putting in too much effort. So yeah, My Protein, Gymshark and Adnola. Okay, what is your job? I don't know why I've kept this such a secret. There's literally no reason. It's not anything exciting. Basically, my official job title is a business development consultant. I do this freelance, I'm self-employed, I don't work for a company, I do this off my own back. Under that umbrella, I do a couple of things, which is where it becomes a little bit more complicated. It's only because it's not straightforward. I can't just say to you, like, I'm a... Sorry, it was the vets to book in Archie's jabs. Yeah, I suppose I have never spoken about my job because I can't just say to you, oh, I'm an estate agent, and everyone knows what that is. It's straightforward. Like, my job is very straightforward, but I just haven't really got a title for it. As I say, I'm a business development consultant, but under that, I do a couple of things. Firstly, I advise small startup companies, franchises on how to grow their businesses, how to develop certain parts of their business. It could be when it comes to like staffing, it could be when it comes to building new relationships with new clients, it could be going to outreach, all those kinds of things. So that's basically, in a nutshell, how the business development consultant side of things works. Another little thing that I do under the same umbrella is I actually, about, was it 3 or 4 years ago, I actually bought a franchise, which is something I never thought I would do. But my first client that I did business development for was an arts franchise business, which is something I would never have been interested in. But basically I started working with them. Sorry, this clip keeps slipping. Basically, I started working with them and just loved the business model. It made sense. Obviously, when you do business development, you get to know the real ins and outs of a business. And the model really made sense to me. The finances made sense, the setup made sense, so I actually bought a franchise, which sounds ridiculous because I am not an arty person at all. The creative flair in me is a big fat zero. My drawing skills, my painting skills, honestly non-existent, so it sounds ridiculous, I know. But yeah, without going into it too much, the franchise that I bought basically runs adult art classes. It's not serious, it's a very sort of social, fun-loving, light-hearted, tuition-based art group. I don't do any of the teaching, any of the art or anything myself. I have people that work for me that cover all of these things. Basically, I think the way I can describe it is that I own an arts business. I don't do any of the sales myself. I don't do any of the marketing myself. I don't do much of the admin myself. I do some of it, but not all of it. I don't do any of the tuition myself. I've hired people in these sectors and I basically run everything. So for instance, when I need to do a new marketing campaign, I have someone that I bring in to do that for me and I basically just oversee it and answer any questions. I have someone that works for me on a permanent basis that deals with all my bookings for the art class. So again, I just deal with all the back work of it. And she basically does all the sales and the bookings and things like that. I have 2 tutors that work for me. So again, I don't have to do any of the art stuff. I just oversee, basically. Finger in every pie. It's kind of, I think, what I would say. And then, yeah, they are full-time jobs in themselves. And then chuck a bit of Lose Home in the mix, then there's no work-life balance whatsoever. But at the moment, I wouldn't have it any other way. Right, I think we're moving in to the Lose Home content creation side of questions. So let's start with, when did you start uploading cleaning videos? So I started uploading in March 2024, so about a year and a half ago, just under a year and a half ago. And I started just on Instagram and TikTok. So I just started uploading a few reels. When I look back at them now, my God, they were awful. Like the edit's bad, the quality's bad, the captions, the hashtags, like I had no idea. But anyway, we chucked it out there. And then I think it must have been maybe 3 or 4 months later, I then started my Facebook and my YouTube. So I just started uploading on shorts at that point. I didn't do any long form content, but yeah, I've been doing that since March 2024. Tips for starting a home Insta account. I'd love to do one, but I'm scared. This could have been written by me 7 years ago because honestly, I was about, I don't know, maybe about 22, 23. And I have always been an avid YouTube watcher, even before, hate to be that person, but even before YouTube was a thing and everyone was doing it, I was watching the OGs back in the Zoella days. I watched Molly May before she went on Love Island. Like I watched all of them. So I've always been a big, big lover of YouTube. And the amount of times I've said, oh my God, I just love to do it. I'd really love to do it. And I just never did it. I think primarily when I was working still back in the property industry, I worked 6 days a week, so Monday to Saturday, 10 hours a day with a 45-minute commute each way. I did not have the time, so that was a big fat no. Then when I quit my job, life was really busy, setting up the business, etc. So it just never ever happened. So what was the question? Tips for starting a home Insta account. I'd love to start one, I'm scared. Sorry, right old tangent. Basically, yeah, I was scared for years. I was worried about people seeing it and being embarrassed and, you know, like, I can't lie to you. When your Instagram account has less than 1,000 followers and you're dedicated to posting every single day, it does feel a bit embarrassing. Like, there's no way around it because people are going to see it and they're going to be like, oh, what's she trying to do? There's no hiding it. You just have to get over it. And I know it sounds so unhelpful, but I think that is the only advice I can give you because I can't sit here and say, actually, I posted my first video and I wasn't worried at all. Because no, I was. I really, really was. For the first 6 months, I was like, what am I doing here? This is so embarrassing. Like, come on. So a while before actually uploading any videos onto Instagram, I actually filmed and edited some and sort of banked them and just played around with different editing techniques, the angles that worked when I was filming and all those sorts of things. By the way, this was actually done with no intention of ever posting the videos because I was still in this I'm embarrassed, I'm scared bubble. And then we went on holiday with our friends. Specifically, my 2 best friends, April and Kate, were there. And I don't know, it was just like one drunken night. I was like, oh yeah, I've been filming these cleaning videos and editing them and like, I'll never upload them sort of thing. And they were like, show me, like, can I just see it? And I was like, oh my God, no, so embarrassing. Like, these were never for anyone to see. Anyway, in a few glasses of rosé were consumed and I ended up showing them and they were like, you need to upload these. And I think actually having such supportive friends, and all my friends are really, really supportive of what I do with Lose Home, I think tell someone about it and just get them to encourage you, get them to critique your videos, and it might just give you the confidence you need to post it. But I feel like it's a very, very long-winded way of me saying it's scary, it's embarrassing to start with. I can't sit here and sugarcoat it and say that it's not, but it's the best thing I've did. So please, please, if you're sat here thinking, oh, I could do that, I really want to do it, just do it and then persist with it. When the times are tough and the views are low and the engagement is rubbish, stick with it, because suddenly out of nowhere, you'll have a really, really good week and then everything feels like it's slotting into place. So yeah, I'm not sure that's very helpful, but hopefully you're kind of getting what I'm getting at. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel, specifically your cleaning videos? So obviously I know I've touched on this just slightly, is the fact that I was a massive lover of YouTube from years and years and years ago. But basically, the way that I actually realised I enjoyed filming cleaning videos as such was I actually had to produce a couple of reels for my businesses. I think it was the business Facebook actually. So I filmed a couple of pieces myself and edited them myself and just genuinely really enjoyed the process. And then I uploaded them to the business account and they actually did really well. And I was like, okay. I was thinking like if I actually had a bit more knowledge about the SEO, like how you can optimize these videos and do it properly, I wonder where this could go. And that's what made me start filming videos. The way I chose to do cleaning was that I just love cleaning anyway. I was doing so much of it. I enjoyed consuming cleaning videos online. Like I enjoyed watching them. So it felt like the obvious option for me. So yeah, I felt like it was something that I did anyway. Pick a subject you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, it's going to become a massive task and I promise you it will come across on your channel. So pick something you enjoy because it really, really will come across that you're having a good time and that's what people want to see. My hair clip is on the slip. Right, how are we doing? Back up. Oh! So warm! I'm not moaning, but it's so warm. Right, I think that's it on the content creation side of things. Oh God, my hair is sticking to my neck. Christy. Right, oh, we're on to Connor's section. How did you and Connor meet? Oh, I haven't got a nice romantic story for you. We met when we were 18 in a dark, sticky nightclub at 2 AM, and I hate that for us. Absolutely hate that. I feel like it's such a get to know each other story, but yeah, that's what it was. Actually, it's a bit of a lie what I've just said. I don't know, right, you work this one out for yourself, but basically at secondary school, Connor and I did go to the same secondary school. However, they split our year into two. So you would literally have half of the year on one timetable and half the year on the other timetable, which meant that you literally never crossed over with the other half of the year. So he was on one half and I was on the other. And basically, I knew who he was. I knew his name. I could put a face to the name, but I knew nothing more than that of him in terms of I'd never spoken to him. We didn't have the same friends. Like we just didn't move in the same circles. And that was quite literally it. He then left school at 16. I stayed on to do sixth form. So when I tell you, I literally didn't even think about, like, he left and I wouldn't have even thought that he left. He would never have crossed my mind ever again until I met him in a nightclub at 18. And I was like, oh, I recognise you. And that was kind of that. And I don't know, do you remember when you used to go out and you'd meet like different boys and things and you'd give them your number and sometimes they text, sometimes they wouldn't. And I remember thinking, oh, I'll just give you my number, whatever. Like, I'll give you my number, but I know you won't text. And literally the next morning I woke up to a text from him and I was like, it's a good start. So yeah, that was 11 years ago and here we are. Because I think someone else actually asked, yeah, how long have you and Connor been together? So we've been together 11 years. There was another question about how long have you been married? I can't find it now. We got married in November 2024, so only 8 months ago. 8 months ago? 7 months ago? And we were only engaged for 11 months before that. Basically, we knew we always wanted to get married, but life was just lifing. We bought the house, I set up the business, we had loads of financial commitments together, we were very intertwined, we just weren't married. And to be honest, Connor's gonna hate me saying this, but I was the one that wasn't bothered. I think Connor made it very clear when we got to about 23, 24 that he would have been happy to get married. And I was like, look, I know we're gonna be together, I know we're gonna get married. I'm just in no rush to put a big fat label on it. So yeah, it wasn't of any interest to me. And then I got to about 26 and I remember just saying to him, I think I'm probably ready, you know? I think I'm probably ready if you wanna do it. So casual, I know. And then obviously I didn't know this at the time, but he literally went out and he went up to London, he went up to Hatton Garden and had my engagement ring made a couple of months after that. He then sat on that engagement ring for a year. Which is fine, like it was absolutely not a problem. I didn't know. I was 26, 27 at this point, but basically he always wanted to propose at Christmas when we were putting up the Christmas tree, which he did. So yeah, he had a reason to wait, but yeah, we've been together 11 years, but only married for about 7 months of that. So that was how did you and Connor meet? And how long have you been together? What is Connor's job? Now, I had to check with him whether he was happy for me to talk about this because, I don't know, it's tricky because he very much, as you'll notice, doesn't want to be a part of Lou's home, which I've got to respect. That's totally fine. This is my channel. I've chosen to do this. I can't drag him into it. However, I would love for him to come on my videos because I feel like you guys just don't know him. And obviously I think he's great because he's my husband, of course, but I feel like you'd love him and I feel like he'd be really good on this channel. I just can't get him on. Just doesn't want to know. He's a very private person. He's not into social media. Like, he has obviously all the social medias and things like that, but he's not someone that posts regularly on his private social medias and stuff. He's just not into it. So I had to check with him whether he was happy for me to talk about what he does for his job, which he was. So Connor works in the aviation industry. He is a contracts manager, which I can't tell you any more than that because I don't really know any more than that. I'm not totally sure on the ins and outs of his job. All I kind of know is he has a lot of meetings. The man is always in a meeting, always on a phone call or something like that. He has to go and see clients a lot, clients a lot, so he's away quite a bit. But yeah, he loves his job. What is my favourite comfort food and what do I like to cook for Connor and me? Now, obviously not this time of year because it would be far too hot, but a big go-to for Connor and me is a chili con carne. It's just a dinner that we both absolutely love. If I don't know what to cook, then I just whack a chili con carne in the slow cooker. I love it because I can batch cook it, stick some in the freezer. It's a relatively balanced meal. Like, we both just love it. It's our good old comfort food. So I love to cook that for Connor and for me. But what is my favourite comfort food? I have a massive sweet tooth, so anything chocolate related is always a good go for me. Actually, I realised as I was saying that sentence, total lie what just came out of my mouth. I'm a massive chocolate lover, but I only like chocolate in chocolate form. So it has to be a chocolate bar. I wouldn't eat chocolate ice cream, I wouldn't have a chocolate milkshake, I wouldn't eat chocolate cake. Don't know what it is, chocolate as a chocolate. Does that make sense? But other than that, big comfort foods for me, mac and cheese, things like that. Get the carbs in. Love the cheese, love the carbs. Oh, we're moving on to Archie's section. His ears, obviously he sat on my feet. His ears have literally just pricked up when I said Archie. How is dog mum life? We love Archie. Actually, can I just say, there were so many messages, so many questions about, we love Archie, can we have more Archie content? Archie's so cute, and I just love how much you guys love him too, because obviously I'm totally obsessed, but he's my dog, so of course I'm going to be totally obsessed. And I've been really torn about how to share Archie online because I'm so conscious that I know literally like 90% of you love to see the Archie content and that's amazing, but I'm also so conscious that I'm not a dog channel, so I can't keep going on about my dog. So I've been really torn about how to share Archie, but I feel like, let me know what you think, but I feel like we have quite a nice balance where you guys get your Archie fix, but I'm not a dog channel, but I'm still happy to talk about him and I love that you guys love him. So yeah, anyway, what was the question? How is dog mum life? We love Archie. Dog mum life is amazing. I love every second of it. Even when he's being a pain, I still love him because he's my dog and I just love him. I love looking after him. I love feeding him. I love walking him. I love cuddling him. I love taking him to new places. I love introducing him to our friends and family. I love how much our friends and family love him. It's everything we dreamed it would be, and I feel like we totally landed on our feet with him. We've struggled. The age, the breed, the background, everything. We're totally, totally obsessed. So yes, dog mum life is everything I wanted it to be. How long do you walk Archie for? Obviously it's a bit different right at the moment because we're in the middle of this whacking great heat wave in the UK, which is lovely, but obviously our poor little poochies are struggling a bit. So Archie gets 2 walks a day. We take him out, well, actually I take him out on my own in the morning. He normally gets about an hour. That's an off the lead run, so he can burn a bit of energy. We take a ball, he'll chase that. I normally do, I don't know, actually I was about to say how many steps I do. I actually don't know, but he must do like 4 or 5 times what I do because obviously he's zigzagging and back and forth and playing with dogs and all the rest of it. So yeah, he has about an hour in the morning, and then Connor and I will normally both take him out in the evening. Obviously when it's not so hot, we take him out when Connor finishes work. And again, that can be sort of anything. Being totally honest, some days we only have time for like a half an hour run off the lead. Other days we'll take him for like 2.5 hours. It just depends what we've got going on. But as long as he's had his good run in the morning, and as long as he gets out at some point second half of the day, then he's absolutely fine. Obviously in this heat, I've been walking him about 6:30 in the morning before it gets too hot, so he gets his good hour run off the leads then, which he absolutely loves. And in the evening, we've only been taking him out for about 45 minutes, but we've been taking him down to the river. So he's been in the water. He loves, loves, loves the water. So we just throw his balls and his sticks into the water. So although he's not actually out running around getting too hot, he's just back and forth in the water, which he loves. So we just tailor where we go when it's super hot, and we will try and take him somewhere with water because he absolutely loves it. Have you had any other pets before Archie? So individually, Connor grew up with a little spaniel called Misty. She was a little run to the litter, so she was only this big, even when she died at, what was she, like 13, 14? So she was a teeny little spaniel. I grew up with a Labrador cross collie. I say I grew up, we got her when I was 15. And she only died last year, so I feel like she's been a huge, huge, huge chunk of my life. So I would class her as a pet I had as an adult. She absolute love of my life, that dog. And in terms of pets that Connor and I have had together, we actually had a couple of guinea pigs until 3 years ago. We got them when we first lived together. So although we bought this house 7 years ago, we actually rented for nearly 2 years together as well before. So we got them when we first moved into that rented place. So they lived forever, these guinea pigs. Honestly, they lived the life of luxury. Connor's mum used to always laugh at me because when our parents or Connor's parents would look after them when we went away, like the food I would give them, the hutch they lived in, their quality of life, they would always laugh. They're like, these guinea pigs live a better life than any humans I know. So yeah, they live forever, which is amazing. So they were Truffle and Maisie. I loved having guinea pigs, but on a weird note, they're actually quite a big commitment. I know that sounds ridiculous, but they still need feeding, they need cleaning out, they need to go out for their, like, we put them in a run for exercise and things like that. So it's not like having goldfish where you can just go on holiday and not think about them. Like, you have to go on holiday and we have to book them in to go and stay with somewhere. So it's like, it's quite a big commitment. I mean, I would love to have guinea pigs again because they're just so cute and so cuddly. Like, I literally would love to have them again. But I think especially while Archie is young, like, he's fascinated in birds, squirrels, rabbits, all of the rest of it. So probably not a good idea, but I would love to have them again at some point. Oh, this is quite a nice one. Your love for Archie is evident, but does your OCD ever interfere with it? Firstly, I love that you guys can see how obsessed I am with Archie because, well, I don't know why I'm saying because. Just, it's really nice to see that you guys can see that we really do have a little great bond. I keep looking at him because his ears are twitching when I'm talking about him. What was the question, Lou? Oh, but does your OCD ever interfere with it? I know I very, very briefly touched on my OCD in another video, but anyone that missed that, big old story, but I am medically diagnosed to have OCD, and OCD plays out in a lot of different ways for different people. I think it's important to mention that OCD is not all about cleaning and tidying, although mine does play out in that way as well. You're right in that question. Having a dog does trigger certain things. My OCD plays out in a lot of other ways as well, in terms of timings, organisations, orders of doing things. That's when it becomes really life debilitating feels like the wrong words because that sounds very dramatic, but very life altering is kind of, that's the problem with the OCD for me. I don't mind the OCD when it comes to cleaning so much because that's actually really handy when you think about what I do. But does it ever interfere with my love for Archie? To be honest, no, which really surprises me because this dog molts. I've mentioned it once or twice, and we knew it, obviously, getting this dog, getting this breed. We knew he'd be a molter, but yeah, it's relentless, especially at this time of year. We brush him every day, we hoover regularly, we dust regularly, so we keep on top of it. And I say we, Connor's a very clean person as well, so we do it together, which is great. But no, actually, weirdly enough, Archie doesn't really trigger my OCD, which is very bizarre. And the only way I can sort of relate to this is, now I know this sounds ridiculous because he's not a child that I have birthed, I'm fully aware of that. But you know when people like have a baby and like their baby poo, their baby sick doesn't bother them? I feel like that's me with Archie. Like if he comes in the house with muddy paws, then I'm, oh Archie, don't worry, I've got it, I'll clean it up. Like it just doesn't bother me. I think because I love him so much, he could honestly like roll in horse poo and then come and roll on my lounge carpet and I'd be like, don't worry, I've got it. Like it's honestly the hold this dog has over me. I think someone else mentioned something, I haven't actually copied the question for some reason, but someone else mentioned something about like how am I gonna manage it in the winter with Archie in the lounge on coming in from the garden and things. And to be honest, I don't really know. I don't really have an answer to that yet. I think we're just gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. We have obviously a doormat down at the back door. When he comes in from a wet walk, like we'll put him in the garden to dry, he's so happy in the garden, like we'll towel dry him off in there and then leave him out there for 5 minutes and he's absolutely fine. Obviously I'm never going to be able to do that in the winter, so we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. I feel like now's a good time of year because it is dry, so maybe I'm under some kind of false illusion and it will bother me at some point, but for right now, no, Archie actually doesn't trigger my OCD, which is very weird. Now this is actually, again, slight lie, this isn't my OCD, this is just annoying. It's just something that we have to deal with. It's obviously, he dribbles a lot when he drinks. He's not a dribbly dog, but when he drinks, obviously, like most dogs, he has all the water around his chops afterwards. So he'll come away from his water bowl and then drip all the way through the house, which it's fine. It's a bit annoying when you kind of come down the stairs onto our tiles and it's like, whoop, it's a bit slippy because the dog's dribbled everywhere. But we do actually have a little towel next to his bowl, so if one of us is in the kitchen whilst he's having a drink, we just wipe his chops on the way out, but if we miss it, really not a problem at all. Does Archie sleep in your bed with you or in your room? No, he doesn't actually. Now, when Archie came to us, if you saw my Archie adoption video, you'll know he came from the Guide Dogs Association, so he came with a certain level of basic training. He was trained not to go upstairs, so he's never seen a bed, so it was never even a thing. He's also trained not to go on the sofas. And to be honest, we probably actually, given the choice, we probably wouldn't have him on the sofas, primarily because when he stretches out, he is literally like 6 foot long. And I know that sounds unbelievable, but when he stretches out when he's sleeping, he is huge. So if he was on the sofa, there'd be no room for either of us. So we're not actually encouraging him to go on the sofa. So the fact that he never wants to anyway actually works out fine with us. We would have been happy to have him upstairs. Given the choice again, we probably wouldn't have had him sleep in the bed just because of his size. And actually because of the hair. I'm not sure I could sleep amongst all the dog hair. I know a lot of people do it. I suppose if you're used to it, that's fine, but I don't know. I don't think I could sleep amongst the dog hair personally. And I've always had this weird thing about, obviously I love him and I kiss his paws, which is ridiculous because they'd be all around the streets, but I don't want them in my bed. But I'm happy to kiss them. Like, what is that about? But yeah. So no, he's trained not to go upstairs, so we don't even have that issue with him wanting to get on the beds. Our kitchen is by far the coolest room in our house. It's the north side of the house, so it doesn't cook in the sun. It's got tiled floors. He sleeps on his bed in the kitchen, and when he gets too hot, he sprawls out on the tiles, and he's really, really happy in there. He's always trained before we had him to sleep on his own in the kitchen, so for us it wasn't something we really necessarily had the choice in, but actually what he'd been trained in had already aligned with kind of what route we'd wanted to go down. So yeah, we never actually had to deal with it. So yeah, that's where he sleeps, not in our bed, much to my disappointment, but I guess it is the most practical thing not to have him in the bed with us. I think, guys, we are done. I think that is the lot. Sorry if I didn't get around to your question. I tried to kind of cover a broad area of the question. I know a lot of people sent in like 4 or 5 questions each, which is amazing, thank you. But I've tried to cover like a question from each person, if that makes sense. So hopefully you haven't been missed. But yeah, thank you for sending them through. I hope that was interesting. I feel like for me that wasn't interesting at all because I'm not an interesting person, but hopefully for you guys, you might find that a bit interesting. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!